Hello friends, and welcome to Library Essentials for graduate students at LibraryConnect. This video will give you a brief introduction to some of the research tools that you'll find at LibraryConnect. My name is Trent Brager. I'm here in the picture on the left, and that's Amy O'Shea on the right. We are the online librarians. I work during the weekdays so I can answer your questions then, and Amy can answer your questions on weeknights and on Sunday afternoons. We are happy to help you with any research or citation questions that you have. Here we are on Library Connect. I would like to show you one feature before we get into a lot of our resources. The Ask a Librarian tab. You can hit that in the top navigation, and this is great because here you'll be able to ask librarians a question either by using the chat, which as you can see right here is offline right now, but you will be able to use that. And you can also type in a question in here, and we have some FAQs that we've answered. So if you want to know, say, how to download an ebook, you can just start typing your question in, and you'll have a bunch of responses there. Okay. Now, for graduate students, you'll mostly want to be focusing on our business guide. So to get there, click on the Guides tab. Then I can select in many different ways several of our other guides that we have, but I'm going to use this drop-down menu for Guides A to Z and choose Business. Okay, here's where you'll be able to get a lot of help finding resources for papers and projects. The first thing that I want to look at is ebooks. So we find those through the library catalog. So you can just type in what you're searching for into the box. I've got marketing here. Okay. Now, a couple of things I can do to make sure I get results I can actually access be to first search the Globe Education Network library. And then I can narrow it down to ebooks. Okay, so my results now should all have this little orange E, and I can either access the book by clicking the View Now button or clicking on the title of the book, looking at its record, getting some information about it. Here I have the table of contents, which often shows up in the record. If I want to view it, I can just click View eBook. Okay, so if I want the full text to actually read the book, I can click on full text. We often have the EPUB or the PDF version, and you can download this either onto your computer. For that you will need Adobe Digital Editions software, or if you want it on your iPad, you will need the Blue Fire Reader app. And we have some videos on how to do that. Remember, if you need to know how to do that, you can go back to this Ask a Librarian tab and look up how to download an ebook. Okay, let's go back to the business guide. I want to talk about some databases. So we have this discovery database, and this actually searches multiple databases at once. So I could type in a search here. It's really nice because it gives you lots of results. Unfortunately, you can't use some of the special features that we have on our different databases. So I want to look at a few of these specific ones, and they show up in this Business Databases box. The first one is Business Source Complete. Now you can again do a general keyword search. And in here I've got options to sort how I narrow it. So right now this is by relevance, which is usually pretty good, but I could search by the newest things to show up first. Now unfortunately these are things that are so new that we can only request them because we don't have access to them yet. So if I only want to see things that I can get to right now, I can click on this full text box, and I should have a full text for each article. And if I need scholarly or peer-reviewed journals, I can just check that box. and you should see this number of results going down as we get more specific. I can also eliminate some of these older articles and only find current things. Okay, so now I've got a much smaller set to look through. I could get more specific by adding in some more search terms. Just marketing is very non-specific. And if I look and I see, oh, this sounds like a good one, I can hover over this magnifying glass and it will give me an abstract of what this article is actually about. So I can decide, do I actually want to read this or not? Okay, if you click back on the Business Source Complete logo, there's also some cool features on the advanced search. They show up on this right side, so I can find country reports, industry profiles, market research reports, and company profiles. I'm going to take a look at the target profile. So we get the market line report, and if you try to buy one of these online, it costs you about $175. So it's really nice that you can get them for free through our databases. So these company profiles give a lot of information. Among them is the SWOT analysis. So you get a nice, concise look at the SWOT diagram, but then they go into a lot more detail for each of the 4 categories. So strengths, weaknesses. And if I go further, we'll get opportunities and threats. All right, I'm going back to the business guide and we'll look at the next one. That is LexisNexis Academic. Now this database is made for basically 3 different things. It has a lot of news topics, so a lot of newspaper articles. It has lots of legal information if you want to look up certain cases. But for you, it'll mostly be useful for company information. So I can search the name of a business. I'll just do Target again. Target Corporation is the one I want. So in this snapshot, once it loads, it will give me lots of information. So I've got the stock prices, I can see who their board of directors and executives are, a lot of their financial numbers. What's really cool is it gives a link to their LinkedIn profiles. On the left side, tons of different ways to find different facets of information. So we've got company hierarchy, what brands they own, who their major competitors are, news for the company, financial reports, mergers and acquisitions, recent legal cases that they've been in, and what patents and trademarks they own. So if I click back on the LexisNexis Academic logo, I can also use this search by subject or topic. And what's cool is I can look in this dossiers under companies, and I can create a list by location of different companies. So I can click on create a company list, and let's say I want to find companies in a certain industry. So I'll just look up the NAICS code. Oh, let's say I want construction companies, buildings, residential buildings. Okay, so I'll select that. And I want to find companies that are in my area. So I am currently in Rochester, Minnesota. So I will just type in the zip code. Say I want to find companies within 5 miles of that zip code. So it gives me, it says there are 145 companies. I click on Customize List and I can decide what information about those companies I want. So I want to know the executives, I'll get their telephone, email address, and probably the address of the company. You can see their sales and revenue and how many employees they have. So here's my list. Got their street address, telephone number, name of their executive, how many employees they have so I can see the larger ones and the smaller ones, and then their sales and revenue. Right, so going back to the business guide, the last database I want to look at is Small Business Resource Center. This one is great because it has a lot of sample business plans. So these are actually business plans of existing companies. They've just changed the names. So I can do a quick search. Let's say I want let's just say a daycare company. Okay, so here are 5 business plans for different daycare companies. So here I've got a pretty full business plan for this company. All right. So the business guide is going to be your #1 place to go. We also have this tab here for specialized research. So if you want to specifically look for things on entrepreneurship, industry research, for case studies or things like that, we've got the resources broken into their own individual boxes. Be sure to ask us if you have any questions. There's a contact us box on a lot of our pages. Chat is online during the daytime at most days, and on Sunday afternoons. So feel free to chat with us, send us an email, or send us a text message if you have any questions. And remember, this Ask a Librarian tab is a place where you can search for some common questions. So, thank you for watching this guide and have a good day.